So today we got a question from Phillip, who is getting ready for a competition that has a different rule set than what he's used to. So he's competed in some competitions previously, but this one has a different rule set. He's not used to it. And so his question to me is, do you roll leading up to this competition like you normally would and just sort of make adjustments when you're at the competition during your matches? Or would you roll differently, abiding by the same rules that you're going to be competing or you're going to be using at the competition? And so that's his question to me. So brother, thank you for the question. And Phillip, leading up to a competition, I want to do as much as I can so that I prepare my body for the competition that's coming up. So I'll do a couple things and then we'll get more specific about the rule set stuff. So first off, I will use the same techniques over and over again. Whether I'm doing competition rule sets or not, I want to use the same stuff over and over and over again. When you look at high-level competitors in any grappling sport, it doesn't have to be jiu-jitsu, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, judo, any of it. When you look at them, they become synonymous. Those people become synonymous with a particular technique, position, or what have you, and that's not by accident. Those people are constantly using those techniques, and they are finding the ins and the outs, and they have a map of this position completely laid out. So this way they know if the person turns this way, this is what I'm doing. If they move this way, I do this. And this is why you see competitors do this, right? Well, when they go compete, there's no question about what they're doing. They're basically moving on autopilot, which is incredibly important because if you're in a stressful situation, like a competition, you're not going to be able to sit there and like think about stuff, which kind of gets me to the next part of it. I remember one of my competitions as a blue belt, my very first one. Worst competition, one of the worst competitions I ever had performance-wise. And it was because I got out there, didn't really know what I was going to do, hadn't prepared properly. I just got back from knee surgery. I was just like, I want to compete again. I get out there and I lock up with the dude. And I remember looking at him and thinking, okay, what am I gonna do? And I was constantly just sort of frozen. I couldn't really execute anything, and my opponent took control of the match and he beat me very decisively. And so that was a terrible performance, and one of the big reasons was I didn't think about what I was doing. I didn't prepare for it, nothing. I was just like, I'll just figure it out on the fly. Well, it didn't work out so well. Leading up to competitions now, I like to kind of have a little bit of both mixed in. So I'll have some regular days of rolling where I'm just kind of doing different styles of rolls. It could be a full roll, it could be situational, just rolling, right? Again, I'm still going to be focused on my techniques that I'm going to be using at the competition, but again, just not necessarily in the rule set type stuff. Then I like to incorporate a couple days a week where I'm going to be focused on the rule set. That means points, that means no time limits or submission only, whatever you're doing, right? And it's important to understand how your game's going to work in that particular rule set because the way competitions work, they're very different. We'll take points, tournaments, and then a submission only as an example. When you compete in a submission only, people a lot of times will let people pass. They won't fight so hard for the pass and they'll sit there and ball up and they'll find an escape afterwards. Whereas in a competition where points are involved, people fight very hard for those positions and there's a lot of scrambles because people don't want to give up points. Likewise, if you understand how points work, you're going to need to know where you are in the back of your mind as far as that point scheme is concerned. One example from a match a couple of years ago was at the ADCC trials. The ADCC has a interesting rule set where basically the first half of the match is no points, the second half of the match is points, and they don't break up the match, they literally just start it, they just keep going. So, you know, you'll be going and then so many minutes into it, all of a sudden you'll hear points, and then now it's a points match, right? Well, you gotta also know how your game works to sort of facilitate your ability to win. When I was in one of my matches during the ADCC trials in 2018, I was competing against this tough wrestler, and he had good takedowns. I watched some of his early matches, and I thought maybe I could get a takedown on him, but I was like thinking to myself, man, I'm going to be fighting hard because this dude's quick. So I pulled half guard, and I got right to the position where I needed to be to get my sweep, and then I was waiting to hear points, right? And as soon as, the 3-minute mark or whatever it was happened, points, boom, I got my sweep and got my points right out of the gate, right? And I did that because I didn't want to get on top of him and then not have any points where I have to advance position even more to get the points. I wanted to be right in the place I needed to be so that when I got up on top of him, I would immediately have 2 points on the board and be able to work from there. And so that came about because I had rolled with the points, with that point system in mind in the gym, and then leading up to it, I understood how my game works with that. And so getting to sort of the question, big, long, roundabout way that I do these videos sometimes, right? Getting back to your question, I would definitely roll in some days of the week by the rules of the competition if you have control of that. Maybe you need to talk to your coach. If he's not willing to do it, maybe just do it inside of your head. Be counting points up, or just be thinking about not getting submitted, right? Or being thinking about getting those submissions. But I would definitely roll by the point scheme or by the competition rules sometimes throughout the week. So this way, when you go out to that competition, you've been using the same game plan that you're going to use for the competition, and you have been subjected to the points and the rules. So this way, it's not going to sneak up on you. You're going to know exactly how your game's going to work in that setting. So yes, I would definitely do it beforehand and lead yourself up, so this way you make sure you understand that point system and you don't have to think about it. Because I've said this numerous times, competitions, high stress environments like that, it's the wrong time to think about things. You want to just go out there and be executing your plan. So anyway, Phillip, hopefully that's useful to you, and I'll talk to you guys next time.